Last year, India sold something to the world. It was worth close to 2,80,000 crore rupees, about $30 billion. But nothing left the country. No factory manufactured it. No truck carried it to a port. No ship ever sailed. Instead, the buyers flew in. They paid on dollars. They ate, they stayed, they traveled. And then they went home. On paper, this doesn't even look like an export. There is no shipping bill, no customs stamp. But it is one of the single biggest exports India has. And almost nobody talks about it that way. This is a story of tourism money, not the postcard version you see on Instagram. The forensic version a banker sees when the dollar actually moves. Every year, you hear the same headline. Tourism is India's growth engine. It creates employment. It brings in foreign capital. It's our ticket to developed economy. And the number looks massive. Industry estimates put tourism at 5% of India's economy, supporting nearly 7.5 crore jobs. Drivers, chefs, guides, hotel staff, and retailers. Now, this is true. We are not here to dispute the data. But a big number on corporate slide only tells you how much. It completely hides where the money sits, who holds it, and who never sees a single rupee. That is the banker's question. Not how big is tourism, but follow the money. Where does it actually go? Think about how a normal export works. A factory in India spins cotton shirts, loads them onto a ship, and buyer abroad pays in dollars. The goods go out, the cash comes in. With a tourist, it's reversed. A family from Germany lands in Delhi. They buy a carpet in Jaipur, eat at a local dhaba, and stay at a hotel. The product they are buying is India itself. The fort, the food, the experience. The customer travels to the product. This is what economists call an invisible export. And here is why a banker cares so much about these specific dollars. India buys far more from the world than it sells. We import massive amount of oil, electronics, and heavy machinery. To pay for all of that, we desperately need foreign currency. Tourism quietly tops up that national tank, close to $30 billion last year alone. Why does the tank matter to you sitting at home who might never even meet a foreign tourist? Because that tank dictates the exact value of the rupee in your pocket. The more dollar India earns, the steadier the rupee. A steady rupee is the only thing keeping the price of your petrol, your cooking gas, your imported smartphone from suddenly skyrocketing. Think about that. A foreign tourist ordering a thali in Agra is not just helping a local restaurant. They're quietly subsidizing your monthly grocery bill by stabilizing the currency. That is the structural reality the GDP slides never show you. That is the first truth the headline skips. Now the second one, and this one is much closer to your own wallet. Let me ask you a question. The last time you booked a flight or a hotel online, when did you actually pay? You paid immediately, right? Today in full. And when did you actually take the trip? Maybe next month, maybe 3 months later. Look at that gap. You handed over your hard-earned money today, but the airline doesn't have to fly you or pay for fuel until 90 days from now. For 3 whole months, your cash is just sitting with them. Now multiply your single booking by lakhs of travelers doing the exact thing every single day. This massive growing pool of other people's money has a financial name. We call it a float. It is a capital you hold that is not yours to keep it yet, but is fully available for you to use right now. Think of a wedding caterer. You hand over massive advance weeks before the event. He has not bought a single vegetable yet, but your cash is already hitting his account. He can use that liquidity to fund other projects, buy in bulk, or clear debts, all before he even cooks for your food. The travel tech industry runs on the exact architecture, but at an astronomical scale. Airlines, luxury hotels, booking aggregators collect your cash upfront and settle their own bills months later. The timing gap is effectively an interest-free loan. No bank approval, no collateral, no interest rates. Just pure timing. Through a forensic lens, a travel company can show paper-thin profits, yet sit on mountain of liquid cash because of your advances. So when you book the holiday 3 months early to chase a discount, you're not just being a savvy traveler. You're acting as unpaid lender to a multi-billion-dollar industry. And you do it happily every single time. Which brings us to the hardest question of all. If all this sovereign currency is flowing in and all this corporate floor is accumulating, where are the permanent high-paying jobs? Every policy speech says the same thing. Tourism is our easiest path to mass employment. But here is the data point the speech always skips. Out of every 100 international tourists traveling on this planet, only about 1.5 choose India. 1.5%. For a country of our geographic scale, our history, our culinary footprint, and our coastlines. Look at the structural contrast. Last year, India welcomed under 10 million foreign tourists. Thailand, a country a fraction of our size, welcomed roughly 35 million tourists. 3.5 times the volume from a territory smaller than many of our geographical states. The issue is not whether tourism creates jobs. It obviously does. The real structural failure is that the tap is barely turned on. The jobs follow the footfalls. Fewer visitors means fewer steady paychecks. The promise leaks out long before it even reaches the ground level worker. Where exactly is the friction? Follow the leaks. 1. A slow, cumbersome visa process means a traveler simply closes the tab and picks up the easier country before they even pack the bag. 2. Transit fiction. A vacation is only as viable as the last mile infrastructure. The moment a tourist hits broken roads, missing signals, or unsafe local transit, they cut the trip short and spend less. 3. The trust deficit. A single traveler who feels scammed, harassed, or unsafe doesn't just even return. They tell thousands of others online. Word of mouth algorithm run both ways. 4. Severe seasonality. We pack our tourism into tight 4-month window. The remaining 8 months, hotel room sits dark and staff are laid off. A job that disappears for most of the year is not a livelihood. It's a temporary stopgap. So let's revisit that baseline headline. Tourism, India's growth engine. 5% of the economy, crores of jobs. It's not factually wrong. It is simply the glossy cover of a much more complicated book. When you open it, you realize tourism is actually 3 distinct economic structural stories. It is an invisible export that quietly shores up the rupees and shields your personal wallet from inflation. It's a massive float machine where everyday consumers interest-free finance massive travel conglomerates. And it's a leaking pipeline, an ecosystem with staggering macroeconomic power, but running with main valve almost entirely shut off. This is a structural reading of the system, designed to clear understanding. Not a policy advice. The underlying financial mechanisms of Indian tourism are genuinely formidable. The dollars are real. The liquidity leverage is real. But the machinery meant to convert those dollars into massive, stable, nationwide employment is choked by micro friction. So the next time a public official stands on a stage and promises that tourism will single-handedly solve our employment puzzle, you don't look at the big number on the slide. You look at the infrastructure and you ask the only question that actually matters. What are you doing about the leak? I will see you in the next video.